Hi there, I'm Brad, and we're here at the Bristol Show 2024. I'm with the hi-fi unicorn himself, Mr. Roy Gandy.
Unicorn? I've never been called.
I know, I thought I'd throw it out there and see what you thought. Roy, last year we were talking about the release of the Naya. We also had a couple of turntables coming out in the white finish. People quite excited about that. I think it's safe to say that the hype has not wavered from last year about the Naya. It's taken the industry by a bit of storm.
I'm not so aware. All I know is we've sold out of everything.
You're so nonchalant. You're like, yeah, I'll just rock up and it does its thing.
Well, problems of manufacturing are sometimes quite different from the problems that the press or the public see, the media see. Our problem has been that we've had difficulty in getting ceramic parts because they need a lot of energy. They're currently produced in Germany, and Germany has an energy requirement problem, so we've had a trickle of parts, and it's been a long, long story which I won't go into here.
But obviously, so that was last year. People are still excited. This year, we've got, the Planner 3's come out in a lovely light oak, and I know that's not your bag, so we won't go into that. But we've also got the Solis and the Mercury. What have you got?
That's been fantastic, because the initial brief came from our distributors, and is it right to look at you when there's a camera put in? Yeah, okay. The initial brief came from distributors that they felt the quality of the Ethos and the Osiris justified a more powerful amplifier. I don't understand why, but they felt that. And the Ethos lends itself easily to increasing power without reducing sound quality, which is unusual for amplifier topology. So the initial brief was go and make a more powerful Ethos. And again, much more important than products, we've got two young for me, they're not that young maybe, but 30s guys who are both very, very different and both working together as a team under the auspices of our apocryphal designer, Terry.
Yeah.
And it's the first time he's ever really let go.
Wow.
And when we gave Terry the brief of designing, he said, no, I don't want to do that. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Let these guys do it better than me. I'll just keep an eye on them. And I'm thinking, wow, that's the future for Rega.
Well, that's kind of what you guys do, isn't it? You're always evolving, innovating. There's no such thing as perfection, as we've said before. It's literally just deal with the chaos and see what comes out.
Yeah, and that part of it has been absolutely amazing for me, working with the two guys, knowing Terry's overseeing it. And my main job has been just being involved in the listening panels. In the old days, I was told I was responsible for listening. Now I'm too old, my hearing's terrible, so I make sure there are other younger people there in the group. And we've had some very, very interesting listening sessions, and the younger people have said, why don't we do it blind,
Yeah.
So we've done blind and sighted, compared results, which is something I was doing nearly 50 years ago, learning what the difference was between blind and... I'm getting off the subject of amplifiers here, but it's instigated that again, and I'm seeing it happening with younger people. One of the designers has got very, very much into vinyl, for instance, and not much more than me. He's into which pressing sounds better, and he's asking me to bring in some of my 60s pressing so I compare it with ones he's bought recently.
So, what would you say is your go-to track when you're listening to these things?
We've just had that. There's no such thing for me. I tried once writing a list of all of the tracks or albums that had been used by Rega.
Yeah.
I got to two sides of A4, more than 100 tracks, and I gave up.
Well, we were talking about this at the bar last night, weren't we?
Yeah.
It's just there's just too many different options. But I know these are only prototypes, but I can't wait to hear them.
They exceeded their brief. The brief was, the Ethos is fantastic, it's good enough, just make it more powerful. And they've made amplifiers that are sounding much better than the Ethos or the Osiris. And it's not even the ethos anymore. It's become morphed and changed. It's actually more to do with the aura in the preamp than the ethos. So.
Well, I mean, it's a formidable setup, to say the least. Once it's all there and working, I cannot wait to hear it. Roy, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you. And this must be your... How many shows have you done now?
I try and keep away from shows, but I've come to most of the Bristol shows except a year or two ago when I think I was travelling. It's to meet people and just catch up with the vibe. For instance, I took a picture of the queue outside. It's an enormous queue, which is rather nice.
Roy, as always, absolute pleasure. Rega is available at all Audio T stores, so be sure to get in touch. And I believe we'll be seeing these later in the year, possibly in the summer. So get a demo booked in. Come and join us.
Not answered any of your questions, I don't.
We just like having a chat, don't we? That's what it's all about. And that's what people like. Anyway, guys, thanks very much. Take care.